Good afternoon, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, September 7th. News from Arkansas today includes some cleanup from last night. The Little Rock City Board of Directors had a long meeting last night and at the very end of it voted against a proposal by City Director Irma Hendricks to require city police officers to live in the city of Little Rock. The three black directors voted for the proposal. All the other directors, all white, voted against it. One of them was absent. The city police force has about 550 officers. About 350 of them are white. 80% of the white officers choose not to live in the city of Little Rock. Most of the black officers do. The unsettling thing is that the police chief quotes the police officers as saying that the city has too much crime and schools are too poor for the officers to live here. There was a procession of speakers last night from the black community, one judge, one retired judge, and others who said, we live here. We take it as something of an offense that somehow this isn't a suitable place for police to live. Inevitably, race is what this is about. People have some reason to be concerned about the attitudes of police officers who are hired to patrol a city but are afraid to have their families live here. I don't think residency requirements have worked well in other cities. We have a hard time recruiting officers as it is. Residency requirement may not be the answer to the attitudes in the city, but an attitude change certainly seems to be in order. Still more lawsuits have been filed over pending proposals for ballot initiatives in the November election. As it stands, there are three voter-initiated proposals on legal casinos, on medical marijuana, and on limiting damages and lawsuits against nursing home and other health practitioners. All of these now face lawsuits, as many as three in the case of the marijuana amendment. The casinos were added yesterday with a lawsuit by a group that's against more casino gambling in Arkansas. They won't say who's financing, but the law firm that filed the suit have been representatives in the past of Oaklawn Park and Southland Gaming in West Memphis, the two big legal casinos that operate in conjunction with racetracks. They'll undoubtedly be behind the campaign. They don't want more competition in the state. The casino amendment is also being challenged because it gives an extraordinary power to private corporations whose ownership isn't known to be enshrined in the state constitution. It presents some interesting legal questions. The Supreme Court's going to be busy the next few weeks deciding what to do about these. One development of interest on the amendments was that the Family Council, an ultra-right-wing religious organization, said it opposed the tort reform amendment. It said pretty simply that if you lower damages so much, it'll mean that basically you can't sue when a nursing home does something terrible to your relative, and they think it just goes too far. I'd have to say for once the Family Council may be on to something here. Governor Asa Hutchinson announced today that Verizon had contributed $40,000 to create a competition in his pet project, encouraging more students to take computer coding in Arkansas. There's going to be a statewide competition with cash prizes for students in high schools next year in computer coding. The subject has caused some interesting discussion on our website about computer coding is good, but is it really good to substitute it for a math requirement? Aren't there other areas of focus that are also important? Good subject of discussion in education. Major Evan Young, a transgender retired Army major, is going to be in New York for a town hall forum tonight at which presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are going to answer veterans questions. Major Young wants to know if they'll support VA paying for surgery for transitioning transgender people as it does pay for active duty soldiers. Could be an interesting question if he's able to answer it. Reporting today by a good government group says that two big polluters, a power company and a coal operation, paid some $250,000 to meet with Republican attorneys general at their annual session last year, 1 week before nearly all of those Republican attorney generals got onto a lawsuit to sue the federal government over its effort to make the air cleaner to reduce emissions from coal-burning power plants. Leslie Rutledge, of course, was in on this meeting. She's in on the lawsuit. She's far more beholden to the energy companies and the people that pollute than to the people who wish they didn't have to hack and cough because of that pollution. Yesterday, the University of Arkansas Razorbacks announced they're going to get into the secondary ticket market. They'll buy season ticket holders tickets to football games and then resell them like StubHub does. A reader asked if that's legal. Yes, it is. Ticket scalping is not legal in Arkansas unless you're a higher education institution that charges an additional price for a ticket beyond face value. That is, the Razorbacks require an additional contribution to the Razorback Foundation to get good seats, and so they can resell those seats at a higher price. If they're able to get it right now, a couple of tickets on the 50 of the Alabama games looks like they'll cost $400 or so. Some of that depends in the future on how well the team does. And speaking of how well football teams do, this could apply in Arkansas, we don't know, but there's a new deep study out that shows when LSU loses a football game, Judges in Louisiana give harsher sentences to juvenile offenders, and particularly black defenders suffer the most, and it seems that LSU graduates are particularly prone to these emotional decisions in criminal cases of juveniles after LSU losses. Would an Arkansas judge be tougher on an offender after a Razorback loss? One to LSU could make you crazy, I suppose. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.